Commonwealth versus James Bowe. There is. There's something wrong with my iPad. It's locked up or something. Are you James Bowe?
Yes, you are.
Good morning. We're here on a motion for shock probation in 18 CR 0085. Were you born in 1990?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 3702.
Yes.
What do you have to say?
Your Honor, Mr. Bowe would like to be sworn in and state to the court the reason why he is asking for shock probation.
Raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
James, can you explain to the court why it is that you are asking to be granted shock at this time?
I have a job waiting on me and, I'm trying to get my kids out of foster care. And, my wife, she's out there doing, but,
Are you still married to her?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get my kids back home with me. I'm all they got.
James, are your kids placed with family members currently?
No.
So they are in the foster system.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna move this way. What do you got?
Your Honor, we oppose this motion. Just to give you a little background on Mr. Bowe, he was granted probation in 2018. Then in 2023, we filed a motion to revoke his probation. But in lieu of that revocation, he was to enter drug court. Then in October or in September of 2024, he was kicked out of drug court because he had absconded and he continued to use meth. So that's the reason why he's in jail at this time. And based on what he's wanting is to get his kids out of foster care. I don't think Mr. Bowe is in a position to be able to take care of kids if he continues to have this drug problem. He was given a great opportunity through drug court to maintain a job.
How much time do you have left? When we go in front of the parole board?
Your Honor, he meets the parole board in October of this year. He's only got 2 years and 27 days left on this case, so he'll only have about a year and a half left.
You're gonna be better off to go in front of the parole board, because we probate you here. You can ask your lawyer if I'm not telling you, and I will tell you what. I guess he can still, when does his shock probation time run out as far as when he can make a motion?
You're right, he's probably got 34 months left.
Okay, well, what I'm gonna do, I think I can take this under submission and keep it open. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, come back over here. What I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna take this under submission. I'm not gonna rule against you immediately, okay? You see what happens in October. And as far as the parole board is concerned, and you redocket it in November if the parole board doesn't have you. I think you're well intended. You look like a sincere person, but I have people all the time. You've been given these chances and we just can't let people have these sort of things and then there's no incentive for people to finish drug court, and to abscond and things a bad thing, okay? I hope you do turn your life around though, okay? Okay, thank you very much. David Buck.
I'll let you take this.
Commonwealth versus David Buck, 24 CR 0017 and 24 CR 00102. Are you David Buck?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Buck.
Morning.
Okay, were you born in 1982? Last four digits is social security number 2125.
Yes, sir.
We have a pretrial diversion, revocation, and a pretrial conference. What is the Commonwealth?
Your Honor.
Yes, and Judge, this will take care of the revocation matter as well.
What'd you say?
This will take care of the revocation matter as well.
Yeah, are you stipulating to that? I'm gonna revoke it, is that
Yes, Your
right?
Honor.
Okay. That would be 24 CR 0017. The defendant has stipulated we will revoke the pretrial diversion. You have a felony plea, Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Will you come over here where I can hear you? Will you come over behind the podium here where I can hear you? Now, you want to move over just a little bit, sir, too, over this way, just a little bit, right there. A motion has been tendered, says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of drug or alcohol? Is this plea freely and voluntarily given? Okay. Are you the same person that we previously identified in 24 CR 0017 and 24 CR 00102?
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me, sir. Is your judgment impaired today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, have you discussed this matter with your attorney, reviewed the evidence? Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe that you've been fully informed about your case? Thank you
Yes.
so much. You understand that you do not have to plead guilty today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. I'm gonna go over those rights with you. Before I can accept the plea, I need to know those rights. I go over them. If you have any questions, step away, ask your attorney, and I'll ask if you understand them, okay? You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to speak, trial by jury, your right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charges against you. You understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up all those rights, you know what I'm saying? Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will await a pre-sentence investigation report to be done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. Do you understand that? Mr. Hunley, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation in this case?
Your Honor, upon a plea of guilty to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 2 years to serve. The 2-year sentence shall run consecutively with Monroe indictment number 24 CR 00017. The defendant stipulates to the revocation of 24 to 17. Defendant shall forfeit any and all handguns and items related in handguns to the Commonwealth to be disposed of in accordance with the law of the Commonwealth. All hunting, shotguns, and rifles shall be released to who?
Carol Graves.
To who?
Carol Graves, his mother-in-law.
Is that the agreement?
Yes.
Carol Grace. Yes, the shotgun. Okay, we get, yeah, that's right. She said yes.
What's the deal here?
The agreement was for the
Who owns the
they are his kids. So we were
how old are his kids?
on minors, Your Honor.
No, we're not doing this.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not doing this. This is fraud. It's a fraud. You know,
Judge,
That's the reason that I raised the issue, Judge. If the guns are gonna be forfeited, they should be forfeited to the Commonwealth.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah, we'll set a trial date on this thing. I'm tired of convicted felons having guns here and then coming in here and say that their baby child owns the guns and getting them back. It's not gonna happen. Okay?
Judge, let me speak with Mr. Buck and see if he might proceed regardless if the guns are forfeited.
Okay,
Judge, let me speak with Mr. Buck and see if he might proceed regardless if the guns are forfeited.
Mr. Hunley, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation in this case?
If the guns are forfeited.
Next case is Stephen Chavez.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Are you Stephen Chavez?
Davis.
Chavis, excuse me. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, you're here on 24 CR 0087. Sir, were you born in 1981?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 6423.
Yes.
We're here on a pretrial conference. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
It's a felony plea.
Okay. A motion's been, you can come back up here so you and I can see each other, okay? A motion's been tendered, says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct? Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Mr. Chavez, you previously were identified in 24 CR 0087. Is that correct? Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No.
Okay. Have you discussed these charges with your attorney and are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
Have you reviewed the evidence Commonwealth has against you and you believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. I'm going to go over those rights. If you have any questions whatsoever, I'll give you plenty of time to step away and talk to your attorney. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to speedy trial by jury, your right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, your right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, your right to produce evidence, your right to call witnesses in your favor, your right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, your right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charge against you. Understand that by entering this guilty plea today, you give up those rights. You understand that?
Sure.
Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting your recommendation, I will have a pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the recommendation and decide to give a harsher punishment, you've got a right to withdraw your plea. And if you'll step to your left, sir, just a little bit, Counselor, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to operating a motor vehicle with alcohol concentration of or above or while under the influence of alcohol or other substances, first offense, aggravating circumstances, the defendant shall receive 14 days in jail. Upon a plea of guilty to vehicular homicide, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 11 years. The 14-day jail sentence and the 11 years jail sentence shall run concurrently for a total of 11 years to serve. The Commonwealth opposes probation and shock probation. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. The defendant shall have no contact with the victim's family. The defendant agrees to have any and all evidence forfeited or destroyed in a manner that is consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the holding agency.
Sir, is that your understanding of the agreement you reached with the Commonwealth?
Your Honor, what he is asking about is some of his personal property, such as his birth certificate, social security number, things like that, that were in the vehicle. I've explained to him that that is not evidence. I intend to speak with the Commonwealth about releasing that.
That'll be no problem, will it?
No, Your Honor, we can enter an agreed order on
Yeah,
whatever.
we'll enter an agreed order.
Why not?
They've agreed on the record here. Okay. Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment as amended down?
Yes.
Okay. You're doing so of your own free will.
Yes.
You know your constitutional rights have explained it is still your desire to give up those rights
Yes.
and allow the court to fix your punishment. Do you understand that after any of this plea, any future convictions of felonies could be enhanced on a persistent felony offender law? You understand that?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
Yes.
I accept the agreement or a pre-sentence investigation report and have sentencing for March the 20th, okay? Considering the length of time involved, I'm going to waive the court costs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Tiffany Etheridge.
She was.
Commonwealth versus Tiffany Etheridge, 24 CR 0085. You are Tiffany Etheridge.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You were born in 1981, the last four digits, social security number 5124. You're here for sentencing, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Represented by counsel. Have you had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole? Is it substantially correct?
Yes.
Counselor, is there any reason this lady should not be sentenced today?
No, sir.
Or plead guilty to theft, unlawful taking, disposition, purse snatching, thousand, less than 10,000 defendant street was sentenced to 1.5 years. On a plea of guilty of theft and lawful taking disposition of controlled substance, defendant shall receive sentence of 1.5 years. The 2 1.5 year sentence shall run concurrently for a total of 1.5 years. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. Defendant agrees that any and all evidence shall be destroyed. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Keith Gross.
Judge, this is. This is Miss McCauley's case. She
What?
messaged us a few minutes ago and said she's running about 20 minutes late. Would you please call this case back?
Keith called or somebody else called on his behalf?
No, she called. Miss Dawn McCauley, the attorney,
Oh, okay.
messaged us, said she was running about 20 minutes late.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does not surprise me, but it's okay. Emmanuel Howard. Morning, Mr. Carter.
Morning, Judge. This is our motion for shock.
Wait, let me
sorry.
get him on here first. Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Emmanuel Howard, 24 CR 0050. Are you Emmanuel Howard?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Were you born in 1985?
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security number 7462.
Yes, sir.
This is 24 CR 0050. Now you may proceed, Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Howard had submitted an affidavit, but if the court would allow, I'd like to ask him a couple of questions under oath to follow up.
Raise your right hand. Swear the testimony about to give us the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Emmanuel, you pled guilty to charges last October, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and that was for a crime that was committed in 2020,
Yes, sir.
What was it?
trafficking, Your Honor.
Yeah.
At the time that you were indicted and charged, did you have employment?
Yes, sir. In South Carolina.
And if you were granted shock probation today, do you have employment?
Yes, sir.
Where would you be working at?
Alcabono.
And since you have been incarcerated, have you taken classes to help address your way of thinking and your parenting abilities?
Yes, sir.
What classes have you taken?
MRT in Parenting.
All right, these are the certificates from those.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell the court the health issues that your 15-year-old is facing?
He's scoliosis issues.
Is he about to have surgery for that?
He's got a doctor's appointment to find out. The 22nd, I think.
And if you were granted shock probation, is it your intention to permanently remain in Monroe County, or would you try to move?
I would try to move.
All right, where would you try to move to?
Maybe Glasgow somewhere.
Do you feel like you've made the changes necessary that you can be a productive member of society if you're granted shock probation?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Would y'all like to inquire?
It's not a matter of wanting to inquire. Ms. Honorable wants to express its most severe disapproval of this motion.
You don't have any questions asked?
Not at this moment.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because, and I would ask the court before you even consider shock probation on this individual, that we have an evidentiary hearing so that the Commonwealth can produce evidence. All I've seen is a self-serving affidavit here from this gentleman. He pled to 8 years, and I'll tell the court, he got a break at that. And to come back now and ask for shock probation is, in my view, obscene. That's how strenuously we object to this motion.
It won't be necessary to have an evidentiary hearing. Just give me a little background. Refresh me on.
Well, I can give you a background, but I can't offer you proof, Judge.
On this particular plea though here.
On this particular plea, it was for trafficking.
Was there quantity, was it a hand-to-hand buy or was it?
It was a hand-to-hand buy.
On video.
This one looked like one of the direct submission things here, so I was looking at the file.
Judge, it was a Desi,
This is the this was a Desi
It's
case.
a direct submission from Desi.
Yeah.
To the grand jury.
And you excuse me, Judge, I don't have this at my fingertips.
There's not anything in our file here. You know. We.
I'm trying to find a police report, Your Honor.
You want me to pass this one up and bring it up a little later in the
That
document?
that would be very helpful, Judge.
Okay, I'm gonna pass over this and bring it up a little later. Terry Jackson. Terry Jackson. Commonwealth versus Terry Jackson, 21 CR 0065. Are you Terry Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Were you born in 1983?
Sure.
The last four digits, social security number 8499.
Yes, sir.
You're on a probation revocation. Y'all move to your left a little bit. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Yes, our motion for revocation is based on a new felony charge. It's a burglary, a third degree, and criminal mischief second degree out of Allen County, and we have an officer here to testify if there's not any stipulation.
You gonna stipulate to this or you won't?
No, Judge, we're asking for a hearing.
Okay, bring the officer around. Officer, you come over here and take the witness stand, please. You raise your right hand, you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Have a seat there, lean toward the microphone, identify yourself and in what capacity you serve.
My name is Officer David Clark, Scottsville Police Department.
Okay, you may proceed.
Are you familiar with Terry Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this him?
Yes, ma'am.
Standing right here. Did you come in contact with Mr. Jackson on or about December the 30th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay, and could you please tell the court about your interaction with him and what charges that come about from that stop?
Yes, ma'am. On December the 30th, 2024, I took a theft report from 1316 Old Glasgow Road. Mr. Jackson lives at 1320 Old Glasgow Road. On 1/3/2025, Mr. Jackson's girlfriend was involved in a hit and run accident. The person she hit got the plate number. There was a BOLO issue. We located her at the residence. She was arrested at the time for DUI, possession of cocaine. While we were at that residence, the neighbor where the theft was taking place a few days prior came over and said, well, my house has been broken into again. I don't know what's missing. My son-in-law lives here. He'll be here shortly. While we're waiting on him, I go and over to Mr. Jackson's house where the trooper is dealing with Mr. Jackson's girlfriend. Of course, like I said, she was arrested for DUI, possession of cocaine. We asked Deputy Jones to ask Mr. Jackson, is there any more drugs in the residence? He says no. We asked if we could look. And he advised, yes, we had Mr. Jackson sign a consent to search for the drugs. He did. We went in and looked, and while I was in there looking for any type of drugs, I located property that was on my report from the neighbor's theft. At that time, when I located that, I came out, contacted our, county attorney. We got a search warrant, went back into the residence, located almost everything that was on the neighbor's list in the house.
And so Mr. Jackson and his girlfriend live right next door to the house that was burglarized.
Yes, right
Okay.
next door.
Did they make any statements, or did Mr. Jackson specifically make any statements as to how that property ended up in his residence?
Oh, after Mirandizing, Mr. Jackson, we asked a few questions. We asked him, he admitted, yes, I helped my girlfriend
Do what?
go in the house. They went through a basement window, burglarized the house, brought the property back to their house.
So he admitted to entering that house and taking those items that did not
Yes.
belong to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know about the value of all the property that was taken?
No, I haven't got a dollar amount. I have a list if you would go like.
Can you give a ballpark?
$2,000.
And you said Mr. Jackson and his girlfriend were living in that residence where the cocaine was found as
Yeah.
well?
The cocaine was found on his girlfriend's person, on her. It was in her purse.
Were there any other drugs found in the house?
No other drugs was located in the house.
Okay. And both of them were charged for the burglary?
Yes.
Okay. I have no other questions. Oh, just one sec. Has it already been before the court in Allen County?
No, it will be on the 19th.
Okay, in circuit court? Is
Yes.
it? Okay.
District court,
And just, okay.
district court.
I have a few follow-up. Officer, how did you identify the property in the house as being the suspected item from the neighbor's house?
One of the main things that were taken was an electric guitar, and on that guitar it said Dave and Buster. That's pretty unique. It was located in a bedroom. That's really got my attention was the guitar, and then we found he had very, very detailed descriptions of everything that was missing.
Okay. And just to clarify, Mr. Jackson did not get charged with possession of cocaine?
No, he did not.
Okay, I have no further questions.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
May he be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you for coming over, officer.
You're welcome.
Judge, because Mr. Jackson has pending charges, we do not have any witnesses, but I would like to make an argument in lieu of revocation.
Go ahead.
Judge, I would like to remind the court that Mr. Jackson has been on supervision for this case in particular since October the 21st, 2021. He's previously finished a different sentence, a different probationary sentence in front of Monroe County that looks like it ended back at the end of December of 2023. I would ask the court to not revoke Mr. Jackson. Right now, he does stand innocent of the charges from Allen County. It appears that it is at the district court level. And while I acknowledge that the court does have the ability to enter a revocation order with the charges just being pending, I would also ask the court to take into consideration that he has not admitted guilt to a court of law and does have the presumption of innocence. So I'd ask the court to not revoke him. Instead, issue a graduated sanction. And in particular, we would ask the court to allow him to return to supervision and be given an opportunity to be successful.
Your Honor, based on what the officer has testified to, he may have not have entered a guilty plea yet, but he admitted to the officer that he entered into someone else's residence and stole items that did not belong to him or his girlfriend. I think by his admission and plus the new felony, I think that's enough to keep Mr. Jackson incarcerated pending those charges and to revoke him for that since he's been out thieving. That's still enough.
I believe it would be a travesty to do graduated sanctions or someone who's admitted breaking into a neighbor's house and stealing something. If he had a drug charge of some sort or had a pretty good history up to that point of being in compliance, but just had a backslide, I would have a different opinion about it, but I'm going to revoke his probation and have him serve. Burglary is just not acceptable.
Yes, it was.
Mr. Morales, Diego Morales. Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Diego Morales, 24 CR 0038. Are you Diego Morales?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm blessed, thank you. Were you born in 1996?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 5466. You're on a pretrial conference. You're represented by Mr. Garrett. What do you have to say to the Commonwealth?
We have a felony plea, Your Honor. And just to remind the court, we were here last month on a plea. This was a fentanyl case, possession. The first plea was a diversion, and since then, we have renegotiated and it's going to be a probation plea, but still a felony.
Tell me about the fentanyl.
So the officers, I believe, went to go serve a warrant or were at an apartment, and that's where they ended up arresting Mr. Morales. On his person, he had some fentanyl pills. According to his defense attorney, Mr. Morales had recently purchased a vehicle that had been impounded at the Tompkinsville Police Department. The original owner of that vehicle that had been impounded was Alvin Roca, who and his charges were fentanyl pills. Mr. Morales's defense is that he found those pills in that vehicle that he purchased recently from the impound, and that they would match the description of what was found on Alvin Roca. And so that's the case. And our offer, our current offer right now is he'll receive a sentence of 1 year on the possession of controlled substance meth, and then he'll receive a 2-year sentence on the fentanyl. And the two sentences shall run consecutively for a total of 3 years. He'll serve 90 days in jail. The balance will be probated for 5 years supervised. And he'll receive credit for any time that he served since then.
Come on back right here. A motion's been tendered that says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
I couldn't hear you. What?
A motion has been made that says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
You were previously identified here in court. Are you the same person that was indicted in 24 CR 0038?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today?
No, sir.
Have you had plenty of time to discuss this matter with your attorney, and are you fully informed about your case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you don't have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and the United States Constitution. I'm gonna go over those rights. If anytime you need to step away from the microphone and talk to your attorney, feel free to do so. Then at the end, I'm gonna ask if you understand them.
Yes, sir.
You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to speak trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charges against you. You understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights.
Yes, sir.
And I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will wait pre-sentence investigation report and probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. Move to your left, please. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation, Ms. Gordon?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 1 year. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree fentanyl, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 2 years. The two sentences shall run consecutively for a total of 3 years. Serve 90 days in jail with the balance probated for 5 years, supervised. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. The defendant agrees to have any and all evidence in the above style case forfeited and destroyed in a manner that's consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency. The defendant shall obtain employment, gainful employment, or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained.
Sir, is that your understanding of the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to this because you did commit the acts as charged in the indictment as amended? Are you doing so of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Knowing the constitutional rights I've explained, is it still your desire to give up those rights, enter plea of guilty, and allow the court to fix your punishment? You understand that any guilty plea, future convictions could be enhanced under persistent felony offender law. You understand that? Is that your signature on the documents?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the agreement pending the pre-sentence investigation report. You'll be back here on March 20th for sentencing. Okay?
He's in an attempt, so it's going to calculate the 90 days of sentence they're going to be.
When probation and parole officer. Have him come out here, will you? Mr. Morales has entered a plea, and when you calculate his days, we need to take in consideration a contempt situation that he was under, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and we can discuss that at sentencing, but just be aware of that, okay? Thank you very much. Yeah,
I just completed the grand juries ready and assignments going to go to work.
well, if they don't care to come in front of everybody, good, okay. We'll bring them in. We all clear this area here, we're gonna bring the grand jury in.
I can.
There should be some room right over there in that corner. There's some chairs over to the right over there. All rise for the grand jury, please. Y'all want to go back up in the jury box, back up there? Be good. Thank you.
Well, you didn't take long today.
Okay, everybody be seated.
Maybe.
Who's the foreperson of the grand jury? Mr. Foreman, will you, have 9 or more of you agreed on these indictments? Mr. Bailiff, will you retrieve
That
those?
may be true.
I understand that y'all have finished your work and wanted to come in because some of you wanted to go back to work. Is that today? That's such an unusual phrase here in my court that I immediately told them to bring in. It's very refreshing to me to hear some of the people want to go to work. Don't hear it often here. Okay, I'm going to initiate the documents. If people are incarcerated, we'll probably do a summons to bring them in. If they're not, we'll issue arrest warrants and put bonds on to secure their attendance or protect the public. It's crucial that you keep confidential are these papers or anything else you heard in there, okay? Now, y'all won't have to come back till March the 20th unless called in because of an emergency or insurrection or riot or something like that. We're not as likely to have insurrections as we were a few months ago, it doesn't appear. So hopefully we'll see you in March. Good health to you, and y'all are excused. All rise for the grand jury. You want to? How are you doing? I'm blessed. Okay, everybody can be seated and we'll go back to the docket. Larry Norris. Larry Norris. You don't have Larry Norris. Does anybody know where Larry Norris is?
He's in custody, Your Honor, at Barron County.
He wasn't brought over?
No, Your Honor. There was a transport. He was on the list, but
Do what?
he was on the list for transport, but he is not here.
What's the urgency of his motion here? Is there, it was a competency motion or competency hearing? We all stipulate to that?
Yeah, I think everybody's.
Well, we can stipulate to that. His presence is not necessary for that, I don't think.
Yes, Your Honor. We stipulated to the report, but we have also worked up an agreement for his case. So if we could have him on the Zoom with Barron County, we are ready to enter.
Okay, well, we'll move him down to the Barron County. Ashley Smith. Como versus Ashley Smith, 24 CR 0067. Are you Ashley Smith?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Were you, you're here on 24 CR 0067 for sentencing. Ms. Smith, were you born in 1984?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 9112.
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to look at the precinct's investigation report done by probation pro? Is it substantially correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there any reason Slade should not be sentenced today?
No, Your Honor.
On a plea of guilty to failure to maintain insurance on a motor vehicle as required by law, the defendant shall pay a fine of $500 in costs. On plea of guilty possession of controlled substance, methamphetamine, she shall receive a sentence of 3 years, probated for 5 years, supervised. She shall complete and enter the Monroe County Specialty Court. Now, has she been voted on yet?
She was accepted.
Accepted this morning. So, well, congratulations. Then we'll let you start as soon as you do your when they schedule your orientation, we'll let you out on that day to go. And so you'll need to prepare an order when that happens out, or I'll just enter a release order on that day when she's done. What are the court costs, the fines? And $500 on the fine? On the insurance? What's this? $500 plus $210, $710. Okay,
Judge, can I speak with her for just a minute, please?
yeah. Isn't that right? $500. It's not the offer, it's a pre-sentence investigation. There's a plea in there somewhere. It needs to be answered. Yes.
Thank you. We have no questions.
Okay, $710. I'll allow you, they'll set you up when you go into drug court to pay any fees and stuff. So you'll have to get a job, that sort of thing. So I'll let you start making your first payment, $50 a month, 30 days after you enter the drug court. Okay? That'll give you some time to get on your feet. Great, thank you very much. Christopher Sutton. Excuse me, pardon me. Commonwealth versus Christopher Sutton, 24 CR 0007. Are you Christopher Sutton? Good morning, Mr. Sutton. Were you born in 1995?
Yes,
Last four digits, social security number 1321.
yes.
You're here today for sentencing. Have you had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it
Nothing.
substantially correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Previously were diverted for 5 years. The diversion was voided on January 16th. Therefore, you're sentenced to 5 years.
Judge, we would like to make an argument for probation.
Go ahead.
Judge, with regard to Mr. Sutton, we would ask the court to probate him and send him to treatment. We have a bed available for him at a long-term treatment program at Spark, which is located in Russell Springs. Mr. Sutton was also in a revocation proceeding over in Barron based on the same basis. Barron has entered an order in lieu of revocation to send him to this treatment program at Spark, and we would ask the court to probate him and allow him to get treatment.
What's the Commonwealth have to say?
Your Honor, we stand by our plea or by our offer.
Well, I mean, he's already gotten a big break with pretrial diversion.
I understand, Your Honor. We are asking the court to grant him probation and to allow him to go to treatment. I believe that Mr. Sutton is at a very crucial point where he worked.
What was the violation he was pretrial that he was voided on?
Yeah, he's already been to Spark, Your Honor.
No, he's not. No,
He
no,
hasn't?
he has not gone to Spark. We attempted to make the argument in January for him to go to Spark. And the court wished to see the pre-sentence investigation before making a decision.
Your Honor, he was previously pretrial diverted here in Monroe County. Transferred him to Barron, and he picked up felony charges. There's a altar done the home there. They rocket docket either probating or something in Barron County in the drug court. And he come in the drug court and methamphetamine in his pocket. And they terminated him from drug court. That's why they're.
You want to have a hearing?
Judge, this is
Did you have a hearing?
did we have a hearing
Oh, what happened over there?
in Barron?
They rocket docketed him and then he goes into drug court and did they have a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. We had that in Barron Circuit in January. I believe it was the week before or the week of.
What did they do
Monroe.
to him over there?
They, in lieu of revocation, are sending him to treatment at Spark. The holdup right now is the Monroe holder.
Okay, I'm not going, you pretrial divert someone, they go to another county and commit a felony and they come in with methamphetamine in the pocket. It's not gonna fly with me, I'm gonna sentence him to his 5 years. If you want to file a motion for shock at some juncture, you can.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, have you got back, could go back to David Buck, I guess. Is David Buck here? Have y'all made a decision on David Buck?
Judge, we're entering the plea. He agrees to forfeit.
Great. I think Mr. Hunley was in the process of,
He thought there was an exception and it needs to be struck out on. So then this,
General Honey shall be.
okay, you've previously been read your rights, waived them, that sort of thing, and the Commonwealth is going to announce its recommendation. I think the issue was whether or not there was going to be a forfeiture of guns or not. So if you'll step to your left, Mr. Hunley will commence with a Commonwealth's recommendation. Go ahead, Mr. Hunley.
When I was interrupted, Your Honor, all hunting shotguns and rifles shall be forfeited to the Commonwealth. Period. Defendant shall receive credit for time served. Commonwealth opposes probation and shock probation. Defendant agrees to have any and all evidence other than the forfeited guns disposed of in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth.
Is that your understanding of the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty because you committed the acts charged in the indictment as amended? Are you doing so of your own free will?
Yes.
Knowing your constitutional rights, is it still your desire to give up those rights, enter a plea of guilty, and allow the court to fix your punishment within the range permitted by law? You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You understand that any future convictions of felony could be enhanced under persistent felony offender law because of this plea. Is that your signature on the document there?
Yes, Your
I'll accept the plea order pre-sentence investigation report, and you will be here for sentencing on March 20th. Okay, thank you very much. Keith Gross.
Don McCauley from Mr. Gross. There's a transport order. I don't know why he's not here.
Is Mr. Gross here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just put him on the,
He's on the list, so maybe they're on
put
the
him on
way.
the jail. No, they're not on the way. I'll put him on the jail docket here. We'll get to him in just a minute.
Okay, well, he's at Eastern State, Eastern State.
Oh, he's not in the Barron County Jail?
No.
He's on the ground, direct. Robert, direct.
Oh, did he get moved again? I think he was at Eastern.
Who knows where he is? Let's find out where he is and why he wasn't transported.
He's 39 years somewhere.
Rotary, I think he got transferred to that. They usually do, they. Oh, yeah, we're not saying that. We were just trying to figure out what it was.
in the meantime. I'll look and see.
They usually, yeah. It's usually, then will do it, no dark.
Judicial system, brand new year.
Mr. Hunley, your commentaries are being picked up on the record. You might not care. I just wanted to let you know.
It says he's still at Eastern. Represented.
Was he going to enter a plea today or what was,
She was in our plea.
did it involve time?
Yes.
He's a state prisoner.
He is a state.
Well, that's, so it's not going to cost him any time not to be here today to put him up. Okay, well.
It was just gonna add a little bit of time to what he has.
Okay, well, usually I'm on you about not doing something, and today we apologize to you because it ought to go both ways, shouldn't it? Okay, well, we'll have him scheduled for next month. Make sure you do a transportation on March the 20th.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's go to Joshua Bryant. Y'all don't have anybody else in custody is here. I haven't heard Joshua Bryant. Commonwealth versus Joshua Bryant, 24 CR 00103. Are you Joshua Bryant?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Were you born in 1986?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 6756?
Yes.
Okay, we're here for a pretrial conference. What do you have?
Judge, we're entering a felony plea.
Sir, a motion has been filed that says you wish to enter a felony plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Okay, are you the person that was just identified in 24 CR 00103?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No,
Have
sir.
you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you aware of all the evidence that they have
Yes, sir.
against you? Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
You know, you don't have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea of guilty, I need to know that you fully understand those rights. I'm going to go over them at the end, ask if you understand them, okay?
Okay.
You have the right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Right to speed trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, or right to call witnesses in your favor, right to appeal this matter in a higher court if you lose. You have a right to require the Commonwealth prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty charged against you. Understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up all those rights. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will wait the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsh sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Step to your left a little bit. It's Gordon Anderson.
Yes, Your
What is
Honor.
that?
Upon a plea of guilty to failure to maintain insurance first offense, the defendant shall pay a $500 fine and cost. Upon a plea of guilty to trafficking in a controlled substance more than 2 grams of methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years, probated for 5 years, supervised. The defendant shall receive credit for time served and shall be released after final sentencing. The defendant agrees to have any and all other evidence in the above style case forfeited and destroyed in the manner that's consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering this plea because you committed the acts charged in the indictment as amended?
Yes, sir.
Are you doing so of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
You know your constitutional rights to explain to us is still your desire to give up those rights, enter a plea of guilty to the charges, and allow the court to fix your punishment and range of sentence permitted by law.
Yes, sir.
You understand that after entering a plea of guilty, any future convictions of felonies could be enhanced as far as their penalty under the persistent felony offender law.
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature on there?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the agreement order pre-sentence investigation report scheduled sentencing for March the 20th. Now, you were going to probate him, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is there any objection letting him continue on his bond? Does the Commonwealth have any objection to being continued on his bond? You probated him. Okay. You may continue on your bond and you'll need to meet with the pretrial, probation and parole to give them information on the pre-sentence investigation report.
Okay.
Larry Buttram?
Yes, sir.
Buttram, B-U-T-R-U-M?
We got a plea worked out. Mr. Garrett was getting his client's signature right now.
Judge, if you could go ahead and
Okay, let's go to Northport. Let's go to Christian County Detention Center. Christian County Detention Center, are you on there? Okay, let's go to North Point Training Center. North Point, are you on there?
Judge, I'm here for Mr. Smith.
Okay, do you have Mr. John Smith there? North Point? Okay, I'm gonna call a case of John Smith, 12 CR 0041 -001. Are you John Smith?
Yes, sir.
Were you born in 1970?
Yes, sir.
The last 4 digits of your social security number is 7415.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it says other hearing. What do we have here?
Judge, this is a post-conviction matter that came back from the Court of Appeals.
We got a bad connection here. We got it breaking up. You're gonna have to talk pretty slow and see if it still breaks up, okay?
I'm sorry. This is a post-conviction case that was returned from the Court of Appeals, who has ordered that there be an evidentiary hearing held on one of the issues.
We
And
can you understand what I'm saying?
I can. Would you like me to put in the chat?
Well, we've got such a bad connection that you're breaking up after every syllable, and I cannot understand what you're
Will you have
saying.
Mr. Smith say something?
Do what?
Will you have Mr. Smith say something?
Mr. Smith, say something.
Yes, sir.
It's not her connection, it's Zoom.
It's the Zoom connection. Why don't y'all unplug from Zoom and try to plug back in to see if
It's
we.
our connection. If both of those are 2 different
Yeah,
locations.
well, I wondered if they disconnected and try to connect in, it might solve our Zoom problem. You think? I don't know. I doubt it.
It's on our end.
Okay, well, I don't see how we can, what is the nature of
This
this?
is to schedule a hearing.
Okay, this is just to schedule a hearing.
Mr. Stockton was supposed to talk to Mr. Buffkin.
Did,
We got an email records.
We located.
We were supposed to set the hearing today. Do you have dates that he's available?
okay, I'm gonna set the hearing date for March the 20th. March the 20th at 11,
Judge,
okay?
I'm going to need a little more time than that. This was not my case originally.
Well, I can't understand what you're saying. Let me give us a phone number where she can call in here. Give us a phone number. 270 487 8831. If you'll call in right now, I'll put you on the speakerphone.
Can you repeat that?
270 487 8831.
Thank you.
Call me here and we'll try to get you on the speakerphone.
I don't know how old is they are.
Hmm?
I don't know how old they are.
We got problems. We might just have to have everybody transported.
You open up your iPad. I think you're on my hotspot, which is pulling in.
I'm not on anybody's hotspot.
You're on somebody's internet. That's to turn it off. You just turned it off.
I know, but let me find out how long.
You should turn it off. You shut the whole iPad down.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Don't speak. Hello?
Good morning, Judge.
Okay. Did you get the phone number?
Yes,
Okay, March the 20th at 11 a.m.
Judge, this was not originally my case. If I could have maybe till mid-May, so I can get a seat on it.
May the 15th.
That'll be fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
What time?
11 o'clock. Central Time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Smith, you can turn your Zoom off.
You were connected, so that might.
Okay. Okay, is Christian County Detention Center on there? Could somebody see if you can get a hold of Christian County Detention Center?
Should be on there, because that was the one I've been communicating with.
I don't see them on the screen. Rotor correction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, will you turn your camera on? You have Michael Vibert there. Turn your screen back on.
Yes, sir.
Are you Michael Vibert?
Yes, sir.
We're here on 25 CR 005 for arraignment. Mr. Vibert, do you have an attorney?
No, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna appoint the public advocate. It looks like you're qualified. Were you born in 1977?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 1680.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna return the indictment here. What is the grand jury of Monroe County has returned an indictment charging you with 3 counts of wanton endangerment in first degree and fleeing or evading police in the first degree. And being a persistent felony offender on all 6 of those charges. Do you understand those charges, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Counselor, you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive the indictment, wait formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what is your negotiation day? This probably, are y'all ready to enter into negotiation on this? Okay, what's your negotiation day? Negotiation day, March the 7th. Next court appearance, March 20th. Both of them are conditioned to bond. Okay, sign the reciprocal discovery order. Okay, Mr. Vivek, your attorney will be in contact with you, okay? Roder, you are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is North Point on there now? Okay, excuse me, Christian County Detention. Are you on there now?
Should be. Kayla Hines, that is who I've been speaking to.
Officer Michaela, are you on there?
Yes, I'm on here.
Could we have Stephen Brown? Stephen Brown,
She's not a probation officer in Stephen Brown's case.
you're the officer involved. We're trying to see if we got Stephen Brown on there in Christian, supposed to be in Christian County Detention Center. Did you ever get any response from Christian County Detention Center, Mr. Officer? Did you get any response from Christian County Detention Center?
I had not, I'll try to see.
Okay, officer, if you'll just be patient with us, we'll come back, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Now we're ready for Barron County now? Yeah, we had to go back to in person, finish them.
Larry Butchell.
Larry Buttram. Commonwealth versus Larry Buttram. Are you Larry Buttram?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Y'all are picking up on the microphone. Y'all are picking up on the microphone. You can take it out in the hall if you want to have these sidebars here, okay? Commonwealth versus Larry Buttram, 24 CR 0093. Mr. Buttram, were you born in 1973?
Yes, sir.
The last 4 digits, social security number 7817, represented by Mr. Garrett. Do y'all have an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, felony plea.
Okay. You get on this side of him over here if you want to. A motion has been tendered that says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person that was just identified in 24 CR 0093?
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
Have you reviewed the evidence Commonwealth has against you?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept the plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. I'll go down through them, and at the end, I'll ask if you understand. At any time, if you wish to step away from the podium and consult with your attorney, you have the right to do so. You have the right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to have a right to speed trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in their favor, right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty charged against. You understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence allowed by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to looking at the recommendation, I will await the pre-sentence investigation report on my probation parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation, decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have a right to withdraw your plea, proceed to trial. You know, we'll step to your left here. What is, Mr. Gordon Anderson, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree, first offense, methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 1 year, probated for 1 year, supervised. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. The defendant agrees to have any and all evidence in the above style case forfeited and destroyed in a manner that's consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering a guilty plea because you did commit the act charged in the indictment?
Yes, sir.
You plead guilty of your own free will.
Yes, sir.
Knowing your constitutional rights, explain to us it's still your desire to give up those rights by entering a plea guilty to the charges and allow the court to fix your punishment in the range permitted by law.
Yes, sir.
You understand that by after entering this guilty plea, any future convictions will be enhanced in the persistent felony offender law.
Yes, sir.
You is that your signature on the document?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the agreement order of pre-sentence investigation report and schedule your sentencing for March the 20th. Y'all had recommended probation in this case, is that correct? So you have no objection to being continued on his bond until then? You need to meet with probation and parole officer over there. Lisa Chapman. Cromwell versus Lisa Chapman. 25 CR 008 and 24 F 0075. I gotta do the arrangement here. This is an information indictment on 25 CR 008. The Commonwealth Attorney charges the owner about the 13th day of December in Monroe County, above named defendant committed offense of possession of controlled substance, first degree, second offense of methamphetamine against the peace and dignity. You acknowledge and see the information,
Yes, Your Honor.
the ability of your client,
Yes, Your Honor.
waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions. Now, this 24 F 0075, is it the same case as the information creates the new file? So we'll just, from here on out, we'll just go by 25 CR 008. A motion's been tendered, says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You need to move over in front of the microphone. Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
Yes, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Are you the same person we just identified? Is your judgment impaired today in any way? Is your judgment
No,
impaired?
sir.
Okay. Have you discussed this matter with your attorney, reviewed the evidence, you feel like you're fully informed about your case? Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea of guilty, I need to know that you fully understand those rights. I'm going to go over them at the end. You can tell me whether you do or not. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Right to speed trial by jury. Right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. You have a right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. Right to produce evidence. The right to call witnesses in your favor. Right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose. You have required to require the Commonwealth to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those charges. You understand those rights. You understand?
Yes, sir.
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting your recommendation, I will wait the pre-sentence investigation report. In the event that I do not accept after reviewing that, that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation, decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have a right to withdraw your plea and proceed to trial. You understand that? You step to your left, ma'am. Ms. Gordon Anderson, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree, first offense, methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 2 years, probated for 4 years, supervised. The defendant shall enter and complete the Monroe Specialty Court. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week of community service until gainful employment is obtained. The defendant agrees to have any and all evidence in the above style cases disposed of in a manner that's consistent with the Commonwealth and the holding agency.
Is that what you agreed to?
So,
Has she been voted into the drug court yet?
I believe so, yeah.
What's the fine and court costs? There's no fine. What's the court cost?
165.
Has she been voted in yet, you know?
He's gonna double check. He's gonna.
Double check, I think she might have it, but double check.
Well, your fine's $165. If you're, when you get into drug court, I'm gonna give you 30 days after you get into drug court to make a $30 a month payment. Because in drug court, you're gonna have to have employment anyway, so. You go ahead and meet with the probation and parole officer there. And I don't know when her orientation is scheduled. She'll need to help make sure she goes to orientation.
Your Honor, are we coming back on the 20th for sentencing?
Well, I want to find out what she's doing. Was this her second offense? Why didn't y'all pre-trial divert her?
She wasn't voted in today.
Yeah.
She wasn't on place.
She doesn't have any record or anything? Why didn't y'all? She's not eligible for it then, okay. Do you meet with the probation and parole officer? And how is she, and they said something about the drug court.
Yes,
Is she eligible for the drug court?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, she just needs to stay in contact with probation and parole, and then when she gets in drug court, we'll find out. Okay, Derek Graves. Derek Graves. Do y'all know where Derek Graves is? Okay, let's make sure there's a warrant then. Failure to appear also.
Your Honor, if I may,
Do what?
I supervise Mr. Graves. He's been an absconder. His whereabouts are unknown.
Oh, my God. We're having problems understanding Zoom today. Let me give you a number, okay, to call in. 270-487, what's the rest of it? 8831.
Everybody will get off, well, I can kick them off and let them try to restart our.
Okay, we'll take this one call here, okay, and then we'll do that.
You don't need.
Hey, I'm trying to get on Zoom call right now with Judge Williams. He told me to call in. Judge Williams told me.
Mute your mic here since you're on the phone, okay? Hello? Hello?
Hey, good morning, Your Honor.
Hello? What were you trying to tell me?
I'm sorry, I supervise Mr. Graves, who's on revocation for absconding. I have no idea his whereabouts. We tried to make contact with him.
Okay, well, we'll issue a bench warrant from here also, okay?
Okay.
For failure. Thank you so much. You have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Amber Henderson. This is active warrant out. Amber Henderson. Y'all know where she is? Issue another bench warrant for failure to appear, no bond.
I believe that's a arraignment warrant. It's an indictment warrant.
Has never been served.
Never been served.
It's never been served. Jody Murphy,
Active probation warrant.
active probation warrant. When we have these active probation warrants, is it helpful to have a FTA also as far as the bond is concerned?
We do a no bond on the probation
Okay.
violation ones.
Sometimes I forget them when they call in the morning when they capture them though. Jonathan Russell for sentencing. Commonwealth versus Jonathan Russell, 24 CR 0018, 23 CR 0012. Are you Jonathan Russell?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're here for sentencing today. Were you born in 1978?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last four digits, social security number 7142. Had an opportunity to look at the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole.
Yes.
Is it substantially correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there any reason why this gentleman should not be sentenced?
No, Your Honor.
Or plead guilty under indictment 23 CR 0012 for assault second degree. The defendant shall receive a sentence of 10 years, prorated for 5 years. Defendant shall obtain full employment, no contact with the victim. The 5 long guns shall be returned to Scott Turner. Okay, y'all want to come around here and explain some stuff to me?
Yes, sir, Judge.
There was a violation of a EPO DVO that was charged.
That's correct.
Could you explain what happened to me here?
Well, that was part of the plea, you're
I
right.
know, but I want to know about the EPO DVO. What happened?
Is it not incorporated in the plea?
No, it says that it's dismissed, but I don't know the factual basis of it. I mean, anytime I see guns, return, EPO, DVO, second degree assault, all those kind of make something go off with me, especially when
Well,
someone's getting
the
probated.
The EPO goes back a number of years, and it was a domestic issue between Amber Busey and Mr. Russell. The order from the Allen District Court prohibited him from having any firearm. When this incident that he's pleading to arose, he had firearms.
Did he use a firearm in this assault?
There was a firearm used in the assault, yes.
Well, I don't like people using firearms, and you get somebody that has an EPO and a DVO and they don't let them use firearms because the court that hears it thinks they're dangerous. And then sure enough, here we come back and he's got assault in the second degree using a firearm. And then we want to probate him.
Well, the injuries would require a second degree, Judge. And I know it sounds strange. She was shot in the leg, but she did not have a serious physical injury.
My clients advised me if the court don't want to accept that, we'll be glad to withdraw a plea and set a trial date.
That's what we're doing. The Commonwealth want to proceed with the case or?
Well, if we have to, Your Honor, I thought we had concluded this.
Well, I get these things brought up to me here. And you got a guy that's not supposed to have a gun and he shoots somebody in the leg and we want to probate him.
The case has got some age to it, Judge.
How's the victim feel about this?
She is glad to be over it and out of Mr. Russell's life. She's established a new life of her own, married with a baby.
Well, what I'll do is I'll go ahead with the plea and then I'll get a pre-sentence investigation report.
I think, Your Honor, if the court has any questions, he called me yesterday and, last week, stating that he would prefer to withdraw, so.
Well, I got a little confused there when I looked at it. This is a sentencing.
Yeah.
Correct? And you believe this is this is a just resolution is what you're saying?
I wouldn't say it's just considering the evidence that we had, Your Honor. I think it is a good plea.
Okay, well, in 23 CR 0012, the charge of assault, second degree, class C felony, receive a sentence of 10 years, probated for 5 years. Receive credit for time served. What is the fine in this case? Court costs, right? $165. Can you pay the $165 today? I can pay. Okay. Meet with probation parole officer. Chad Shirley. Conway versus Chad Shirley. 24 CR 0029. Are you Chad Shirley? Good morning. Were you born in 1990?
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security numbers, 4625.
Yes, sir.
You're here on 24 CR 0029 for a pretrial conference.
Your Honor, we're ready to set a trial date in this case.
What is the charge here? It's a 1-day trial?
Yeah.
You get my schedule to open up. There's a gremlin in here today somewhere. It's not you, is it, Mr. Bell?
It could be, Judge. I hope it's not.
What about, it's Tuesday district court day here, right? Okay. Well, what about March the 11th?
Judge, I have a federal trial in Lexington during the month
What
of
about
March.
March 18th?
I would rather move it to April if I could sometime in the latter part of that month, Judge, because I've got 5,000 documents.
When is the trial you have in Lexington?
It starts March the 11th, Your Honor.
Well, let's go to the
I have a trial set on the 18th.
20. How about the 25th? March the 25th.
I have a mediation said that day with Judge Patton, Judge. If it wasn't for that, I'd move everything else. On a felony case. I mean,
What about the 26th?
Wait a minute, I may have told you wrong.
February 26th.
I'm sorry, Judge. 25th's fine. It's the mediation, pre-trial's on the 25th and the mediation's the 26th, so I can do the 25th.
Is that all right with the Commonwealth?
What date are we on?
Is that March?
No, it's February 25th.
Oh, I thought it was March 25th.
We want a speedy trial.
I never asked for a speedy trial.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
A little late for
That must
that
have been,
anyway.
that must have been a different case.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to March 25th then. Okay, that's good.
Thank you, Judge.
See if you can get that. I've got it in there. I can't get it to add to it. Robert Simpson. Commonwealth versus Robert Simpson. 22 CR 00107 and 24 CR 0079. Good morning, Mr. Simpson. Were you born in 1991? Last four digits, social security number 5031. You're here on a probation revocation and a pretrial conference. What do we have?
Judge, I'm entering my appearance for Mr. Simpson today as conflict counsel.
We run into the negotiating bills, a week ago, since we didn't have counsel.
March the 7th for negotiation day and March 20th, the next court day. Jeffrey Slay.
Or just that, okay.
Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Jeffrey Slay. Are you Jeffrey Slay?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. You're here on 21 CR 0071, 21 CR 0072, both of them pretrial diversion revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
This is a motion to revoke and impose sentence.
Okay. What's the story about? There's a story. Everybody's got a story. Y'all will move to the left.
It's like that. Mr. Slay's most recent violations was in January 29th of 2025. He had signed an admission form for the use of methamphetamine and marijuana. And so that's the basis of our, and he in September.
Sorry, I can't. There's coughing thing.
I'm sorry. It looks like that he was supposed to enter in September the Monroe County Drug Specialty Program. He was just discharged from drug court in December. And then in January, he admitted to using meth and marijuana.
Okay, well, I'm gonna.
And Judge, no, to clarify the drug court issue, he was medically discharged.
Did he have prescription for the meth?
Medically
I said,
discharged.
did he
Well,
have a
Judge-
prescription for the meth they found him with? I mean,
I do not believe so. However, I would ask for a hearing in lieu of revocation. It is my understanding, per discussions with probation and also the violation report, that he was referred to probation social services clinician, and they have referred him to IOP, which he has signed up for.
I'm not sure, Your Honor. I can talk to our probation and parole officer and see.
Is this one of yours?
It is, Your Honor.
You wanna come around? Raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give us the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, Your Honor.
State your name and whom you're employed.
Chase Collins, Florida Department of Corrections, Probation and Parole.
Have you been supervising in your role as probation officer Jeffrey Slay?
I have since he was once he was discharged from the drug court program.
When was he discharged?
He was discharged on 12/12 of 24.
And since then, what violations has he had since he's been under your supervision?
1/29 of 25, Mr. Slay signed an admission form for the use of methamphetamines on or about 1/27. And he also signed an admission form for the use of marijuana on the same day that he used marijuana on the same day.
You know, if he has ever attended any type of treatment program other than trying to get into drug court?
That's all I'm aware of.
Is he able, do you know if did he have a job at all while he was under supervision with you?
He does not have a job at this current time.
That's all the questions I have this time.
What kind of criminal record is he have?
Your Honor, he's got a Barron County case, 24 CR 253, that supervision began on July of 29th of 24 for DUI and possession of controlled substance, first degree, second or greater offense of methamphetamine as well. I don't know of any more priors to that.
Was that after he was on? Was that while he was on a pretrial diversion from this court or before?
Supervision began in Monroe County on 9/12 of 24. And then supervision began in Barron County on July 29th. So it was 2 months difference there.
So he was already on over there when he entered the plea here? I mean, you tell me when supervision starts.
Right. I'm not sure when the
on
case
one or
is
the
originated,
other.
right.
He
right.
either was about to be sentenced on one and got a DUI or got a DUI and got sentenced over here. So I want to be clear about that.
That is correct because we voided his pretrial diversion. I guess that's why. I've got some notes here. It says on 8/31 of 21, Mr. Slay, I guess he was in Step Works.
Yes.
And he actually left that program because of a COVID scare. He was working on finding another place to rehab. And then on 3/9 of 22, he was arrested by the Tompkinsville Police Department on case number 22T38, driving on DUI suspended. On 3/10, he was released from the Barron County Detention Center on an ROR bond. And on 7/1 of 24, He was arrested and charged in Barron County case number 24F199 for the DUI and possession.
DUI second.
DUI second, yes, possession.
That's why he was on a pretrial diversion from here. And that's one of them you're trying to revoke on today?
Judge, to clarify, it's my understanding the pretrial diversion had already been set aside and he was probated on this case as a result of those violations.
Well, I'm just looking to see what the docket says and the docket. So we're here on a probation revocation instead of a pretrial diversion revocation?
It says on September the 12th, 2024, Mr. Slay was granted probation in Monroe County on these cases.
No, I'm just looking at what the docket says. What does the Commonwealth have to say? Is it a probation revocation or is it?
It's a probation revocation.
And so okay, I'll change the docket here. Like someone else makes a mistake on occasion besides just me.
Granted probation, yeah. Yeah, he was granted probation for 5 years on September the 12th of 2024. So here in Monroe County.
And so you're trying to revoke him now based upon the reporting of methamphetamine.
Reported mark of Mr. Slay.
He got medically discharged.
Correct.
Why was he medically discharged?
What medical issue? Yeah.
How about trial part condition and COPD?
He's using meth.
Yeah, not healthy to use meth when you got those problems.
Not sure.
You'd be in the Monroe County News under a column other than just the court column if you continue that. What sort of residential treatment is available, like a 6-month long term? Can you help find something for him?
Judge, I am unsure we can attempt it. Some concerns that long-term would be with regard to his medical conditions, and whether or not he could complete programs. But we can look into it.
The program, Your Honor, then it seems like the only way that we can keep Mr. Slay safe and keep him off the roads would go to jail, and if we can't find a rehab.
And Judge, we're not asking for that. I've not had the opportunity to cross-examine the probation officer. We're going to continue the hearing. Or if the court would prefer.
Go
we
ahead
can
and
look
cross-examine the probation officer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Collins, is the current violation the admission to the use of methamphetamine and marijuana?
It is.
And he was cooperative with probation?
He was.
And did probation explore a graduated sanction on their own?
We did. We for a methamphetamine positive, we refer you to the social service clinician.
Okay. And has Mr. Slay met with the social services clinician?
He did. He met with him on 1/30, or January 30th of 2025.
And what did the social services clinician recommend?
Complete the IOP program.
Okay. And do you know if Mr. Slay has signed up for an IOP program?
Mr. Slay said he did. He is enrolled, and I'm not sure when he starts. Starts Monday.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Not opposed to trying it, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Slade, you're leaving here, you're gonna leave here a happy man today because you're leaving. But I'm a little worried about you because of getting behind the wheel that time and having a DUI and having this continued drug problem and these other medical conditions. And I know, I don't want to pry into your business, but I know when people have these sort of conditions, sometimes they get depressed.
Yes.
Sometimes they self-medicate.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you, you got one foot in the penitentiary and one on a banana peel.
Yes,
So
sir.
you go complete that program and try to straighten yourself out, okay? But if you come back up here again, you know what's gonna happen, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Tammy Sweezy. Tammy Sweezy. Are you Tammy Sweezy? Good morning. This is 24 CR 0094 Commonwealth Kentucky versus Tammy Sweezy. Were you born in 1971?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 6766.
Yes.
We're here on a pretrial conference. What do we have?
It's a pretrial diversion agreement, Your Honor.
Okay. The motion has been tendered. It says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Are you the same person that we just identified in 24 CR 0094?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had plenty of time to discuss this matter with your attorney? Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
View the evidence of Commonwealth as against you? Okay, you know you don't have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea of guilty, I need to know that you fully understand those rights.
Yes, sir.
You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Right to a speedy trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, and the right to require the Commonwealth to prove on a reasonable doubt that you're guilty charged against you. You understand by entering a guilty plea today, you give up those rights. You understand that?
Yes.
I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I don't have to accept the recommendation. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation, decide to impose a harsher sentence on you, you have the right to withdraw your plea. I'll ask you a few questions to see if you're qualified for a pretrial diversion. Have you previously been diverted in the last 5 years?
No, sir.
You have any felonies in the past 10 years?
No, sir.
Are you currently on probation?
No, sir.
You understand if you fully complete the diversion agreement, the charge will be dismissed, pretrial diverted, and you get your record expunged. You understand that? You understand if you do not fully complete the diversion and you're brought back before the court and have a hearing, and I revoke the pretrial diversion based upon that hearing, that a pre-sentence investigation report would be done, you'll be a convicted felon then, and that can be used to enhance penalties in the future if you have other felonies, okay? You step to your left, ma'am, Mr. Commonwealth Attorney. What is the recommendation?
Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree, namely methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years pretrial diverted for 5 supervised. As part of the supervision, the defendant shall enter and complete the Monroe specialty program. She shall receive credit for any time served, agrees to obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained. The defendant further agrees that all evidence in this case be disposed of in a manner consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Is that your understanding, ma'am, of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the act charged in the indictment?
Yes, sir.
And what, she's going to the specialty court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're making this plea of your own free will because you are guilty for no other reason?
Yes.
Knowing your constitutional rights have explained is still your desire to enter this plea and allow the court to fix your punishment. Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, sir.
I accept the agreement and version, or has she been voted in yet?
On all, but she knows.
Your Honor, the referral form, I believe, is in the paperwork. It needs to be signed off so she can be assigned.
Okay, then she'll,
I've just been informed by Clay County officer that there are some active warrants for Sleazy out of Tennessee.
For what?
Correct. Probation, probation.
she is on probation then, so she,
Out of Tennessee.
In Tennessee.
so she's not eligible for
There was a,
I wasn't aware of anything, Your
And we were
Honor.
just made aware that had been for Clay County officer being here.
it was for paraphernalia.
Your Honor, I think we'll probably just need another court date so we can go back and check her Tennessee record and see how we can
it.
proceed.
Wonder if, go back there and discuss it with the officer. They have a hold on or anything, a violation? Have him go down and check. I wouldn't expect on this particular day, the first pretrial diversion we have to go through smoothly. We'll just get all these things finished today. We won't have to do them other time. Yeah. Zoom better or is it still? Somebody's. I couldn't get my calendar to work. I mean, it's even slow. I don't understand. It's like a dream here. You know what? I never have any trouble putting things on my calendar.
We're able to, looks like that there's two probation violations out of Tennessee. They may stem from a misdemeanor charge out of Tennessee. I don't have the paperwork yet to be able to confirm that. So it's. We'd want to pass it just to be able to confirm if she can enter it. If it is in fact misdemeanor or if it is.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and accept this. And if we find out that she's made a misrepresentation as far as that, then we can come back and void it. Okay. I accept the agreement, sign the diversion order. You need to meet with the probation pro officer there. I'm going under the assumption that at least on one occasion, someone's been truthful. So just show that I'm not jaded. Ronnie Thompson. Commonwealth versus Ronnie Thompson, 24 CR 00101. Are you Ronnie Thompson? Good morning. We're born in 1963. Last four digits, social security number 3683. Is that correct?
Yes.
We're here for a pretrial conference. What do we have?
We have felony probated plea.
Okay. A felony plea. You want to get behind the microphone? Get on this side of him over here, Mr. Garrett. You're supposed to be on that. I'm supposed to be on the side of the Commonwealth. You know, how to keep these sides straight here. A motion's been tendered, says you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the individual that we just identified in 24 CR 00101?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
Can you discuss this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you?
Yes.
Okay, you understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept your plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. I'll go over them at the end. I'll ask you to understand. If anytime you have any question, you can step away and talk to your attorney, okay? You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speed trial by jury. You have a right to be represented by counsel, but your jury trial. You have a right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. You have the right to produce evidence. You have a right to call witnesses in your favor. A right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose. A right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty charged against you. Understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up all those rights. You understand that? Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence allowed by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will wait to pre-sentence investigation report from probation and parole. If I don't accept the recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea. Do you understand that? If you step to your left a little bit.
Your Honor, upon plea of guilty of possession of a controlled substance, first degree, namely methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years, probated for 5 years, supervised. The defendant shall enter and complete, I guess this is a SAP IOP program. defendant shall receive credit for any time served and agrees that any evidence obtained in this case be destroyed consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The defendant also shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week until gainful employment is obtained.
Is that your understanding of Commonwealth's recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment as amended?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're doing so of your own free will and on your constitutional rights to explain still your desire to give up those rights and allow the court to fix your punishment. Is that right? You
Yes, sir.
understand that by entering a plea, any future convictions can be enhanced as far as range of penalty under persistent penalty offense law. Is that your signature on the document?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the agreement order pre-sentence investigation report schedule. Your hearing on March the 20th. You need to meet with the probation parole officer, okay? Jeremy Turner. Commonwealth versus Jeremy Turner, 24 CR 0086. Are you Jeremy Turner?
I am.
Good morning. Were you born in 1973?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 6684. You're here today for sentencing. You've had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole.
Yes, sir.
Is it substantially correct?
Judge, there was a correction that needed to be made for his custody credit. However, that has already been given to the probation. They've corrected it.
Found guilty of assault, fourth, domestic violence, you will receive a sentence of 5 years, served 19 days in jail, served 20 days home incarceration with the balance of probate supervised. So he already have his 19 days and his 20 days in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is that correct?
I'd have to look at the PSI, Your Honor. I haven't.
Well, the PSI doesn't, it has them in there, okay. He should enter and complete the specialty court. Is he in the specialty court?
Yes, Your Honor. He's already been accepted and started.
Okay. Now, what did they find the court costs the case? Balance of 5 years after credit supervised 5 years. What did the court cost? $215. I'll allow you to pay that at $30 a month, the first payment, 30 days to the day, okay? Okay, you need to meet with probation parole officer over there. Excuse me.
Your Honor, may I speak real quick? This is Officer Hines
Hello?
with probation and parole. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. This lady was on from one of the other cases. She was a probation parole officer. And yeah, did we ever get Christian County on the line? Okay, you may be released. It doesn't look like we're gonna be able to get Christian County. Thank you for your patience.
Then on Stephen Brown.
Who's that on? Stephen Brown, yeah. So we'll
Thank
need
you.
to, thank you. Are we on Steve Vincent now? Commonwealth versus Steve Vincent, 24 CR 0095. Are you Steve Vincent? You're here on 24 CR 0095 and 24 CR 00100. Good morning. You're here on the pretrial conferences. What do we have?
Just I'll be entering my appearance for Mr. Vincent. I did get the discovery, I think, last week on this case.
March the 7th for a
March 7th.
negotiation day and March 20th for the next court date. Both of them are conditions of your bond, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah. Eric Wells. Eric Wells. Commonwealth versus Eric Wells, 24 CR 00104. Are you Eric Wells?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Wells. Were you born in 1974?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits of social security number 3768.
Yes, sir.
We're here for a pretrial conference. What do we have?
We've got a plea, Judge.
Felony or pretrial?
Felony.
Okay. A motion been tendered, sir, that your attorney's just informed me you're currently wish to enter a guilty plea. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given? Freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're the person that we just identified in 24 CR 00104. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you had plenty of time to discuss this matter with your attorney, and are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Have you reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you? You believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to speak, trial of a jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence. The right to call witnesses in favor. The right to appeal this matter to a higher court if you lose, and the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the charges against you. You understand that by entering a plea guilty today, you give up all those rights. You understand that? Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided by law. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting the recommendation, I will await a pre-sentence investigation report under probation and parole. In the event that I decide after reading that to give you a harsher penalty than the agreement, you have the right to withdraw your plea. Okay, and proceed to trial. Now, what y'all step to the left a little bit, gentlemen. What is the Commonwealth's recommendation? List this closely, sir.
Upon a plea of guilty to operating a motor vehicle with alcohol concentration of or above 0.08 or while under the influence of alcohol or other substances, first offense, the defendant shall pay a $200 fine plus costs. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree, first offense, oxycodone, and the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years. Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree, first offense, hydrocodone, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years. The 2 3-year sentences shall run concurrently for a total of 3 years, probated for 5 years supervised. The defendant shall receive any credit for time served. The defendant agrees to have any and all evidence in the above style cases forfeited and destroyed in a manner that's consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency. And the defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours per week of gainful employment until gainful employment is obtained.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you committed the acts as charged in this amended indictment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do so of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Knowing your constitutional rights and still your desire to give up those rights, enter a plea of guilty and allow the court to fix your punishment. Is that correct? Now you understand by entering a guilty plea today to the felonies, future convictions could be enhanced as far as range of penalties, and also on the DUI, they could be enhanced in the future. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Set your signature on the docket.
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the agreement, order pre-sentence investigation report, schedule a sentencing on March the 20th, and we'll tell you what the fines and things are. There's a mandatory fine on the DUI and things, but we'll do that at sentencing, okay? Give it the probation parole officer. Now, I guess we've got one case that we need to come back to, which would be Emmanuel Howard. Emmanuel Howard. Is there anyone else here in the courtroom that came to be on this docket today that we haven't called, that we skipped? And Mr. Fox, if we can't get a better connection, you know what's fixing to happen, don't you? When you take these people over, you're gonna have to bring everybody else back, okay? I hate to do this to a newbie that somebody hasn't been on the job.
A newbie?
Okay, now, Mr. Howard, the Commonwealth is going to make their presentation.
Judge, I am more prepared right now to address this issue. Mr. Howard, I noticed in his statement, he says, I was convicted years ago of trafficking. Well, that's the understatement of the year. He's been convicted 3 times prior to the case that you're talking about on trafficking, twice here in Monroe County and once in Medcaid. Prior 3 were for trafficking in cocaine. Now he's worked himself up to trafficking in methamphetamine. I just believe that with a It's true that these are some of them several years prior. I guess that's why I remembered them so. It probably, some of it was when I was Commonwealth Attorney. I just submit that with that record, 8 years was a really light sentence, because he should have served 20. He would have.
Was he eligible to be PFO'd and was?
He would have been, yes. It would have been a second offense or a subsequent offense. So he got off light. Now, and I see looking at his affidavit here that he makes multiple references to his children. And Judge, his son was.
Your Honor, I object. Where Mr. Hunt was going with this, it's improper and has nothing to do with this case.
Improper?
Yes.
Where are you going with it? What are you gonna try to talk about?
There's an indictment rendered this morning on one of his children.
Well, let's don't talk about that.
All right. So based upon his prior record, based upon his prior record, the Commonwealth just maintains that it would not be appropriate to shock probate him.
Well, I don't really, thank you very much. Here's the problem that I have with these things. I have no doubt that, to doubt what Mr. Howard says about concern for his children. A lot of people who make mistakes have concern for their children. But what about everybody else's children when you sell these drugs to them? Somebody's got to pay the price for selling these drugs. And you weren't just convicted these times for possession, you were convicted of trafficking in the thing. And how much time does he have left? When's he gonna meet the parole board?
One second. He's parole eligible in April of 26. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a year from now. And I think I'm gonna deny your motion for shock probation, and then he can go to the parole board and see what they have to say in a year. Okay? And then if you want to make another motion at that juncture sometime, I'll consider it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we got the problem here with the Barron County Jail. Barron County, will you come on and see? We got a Zoom problem going on here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got a problem here. Can you understand me or am I breaking up?
No, I can understand you.
Okay. I don't know how we can get around this. Maybe do you have a phone in there with a speaker phone in there?
Can you hear this better?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're breaking up. Do you have a speaker phone in that area where you are right now that we could do a phone call?
No, that's what I just switched to, was the headset.
Well, we'll never know. Well, she has one or not, so. Is the afternoon docket really bad today? What do we got?
Like 25 child support, 10 or 12 adoptions, confidential cases.
What time is the adoption? We got about 10 people. We could do them we could do them in an hour. So the adoptions, what are they doing on the adoptions? Are they? I'm going to send the jailer over there to bring the following people that need to be there, and we're going to schedule it at 2:30. Okay. Diana Baldwin, Timothy Curtis, James Dockery, Chandler Moon, Brian Roberts, Eli Smith, Robert Tabor, Benjamin Tooley, Michael Turner, David Wood, and Larry Norris. Now, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna call over there right now to make sure she understands and they'll be transported, okay?
Judge, on Wood, we're just gonna be moving him to next month. If you wanna keep him from having to be transported.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Okay, let's say about a whole sentence to see if we can understand it.
Okay.
How about the rain in Maine falls mainly on the plain?
Are you trying to get me tongue tied?
Okay, your microphone must be off now.
Can you hear
Okay.
me now?
Oh, it's perfect. As clear as a bell.
Problem though is I can't run a system. So I'm gonna have to record it on here. So we have the video at least.
Okay. Okay, Diana Baldwin. Sorry. Diana Baldwin,
Yes, sir.
you're here for arraignment in 25 CR 0007. Were you born in 1973?
Yes, sir.
The last four digits of your social security number are 7565. You have an
Yes, sir. Not that I'm aware of.
Can you afford one?
It depends on if I get out today.
Right. Yeah, okay, the DPA has been appointed in district court. I'm going to continue that. You're here for the purpose of arraignment.
Yes, sir.
You have a right to remain silent. Your attorney's here. The grand jury of Monroe County has returned an indictment charging you with trafficking and controlled substance in the first degree, possession of controlled substance in the first degree, methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and public intoxication. You understand what those charges are?
Yes, sir.
Sign a reciprocal discovery order. You're going to be scheduled for a negotiation day on the 5th, March the 7th, and your next court date is the 20th. What's this lady's bond? Okay, it's just a surety bond that you're under to get out. You have nobody to make a $25,000 clerk approved surety. I mean, they don't have to own any real estate or anything. They just have to show.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
if they can show they're worth 25,000, they got maybe two car. Well, the way used cars are, a person has two used cars. They can be.
Yes, my husband can do that.
Get the used cars. They say you can't use a car. So you just have somebody come in here to the clerk's office and prove to them that they got $25,000 net worth and they can sign your bond. Okay.
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 Thank
you. Timothy Curtis. Timothy Curtis. Are you Timothy Curtis?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're here on 25 TR 0004 for the purpose of arraignment. Were you born in 1978, Mr. Curtis?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 1511. You
Yes,
have a
sir.
right to remain silent. With public advocacy appointed in district court, I'll continue that appointment. I'm going to read the indictment by title only, and you have a right to remain silent. Charged with traffic and controlled substance, first degree, second offense, reckless driving, failure to maintain insurance, criminal mischief in the first degree, public intoxication, possession of controlled substance, methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, aggravating police first degree, and being a persistent felony offender on the fleeing with criminal mischief. You understand what the charges are then? Is that correct? You understand? I'm not asking if you did it. I'm just asking, I just read what the charge is. You understood what I said, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor, do you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions? Is the Commonwealth ready to do negotiations, or are there any forensic tests or anything that need to be done? Okay, let's have a negotiation on the 7th and the next court appearance on the 20th. The charges are serious, and I guess it'll take priority over some other cases, okay? Thank you very much, Mr. Curtis. James Dockery, your attorney will be over to see you in short order. James Dockery for arraignment. Commonwealth versus James Dockery, 25 CR 0006. Are you James Dockery?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Were you born in 1963?
Yes.
Last four digits, social security number 6389. You're here today for the purpose of arraignment. You have a right to remain silent with public advocacy appointed in district court. Okay.
Yes.
You're charged with criminal trespass in the third degree and failure to comply with sex offender registry second offense. You understand what those charges are, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Sign a reciprocal discovery order, set a negotiation day for March the 7th, and the next court date is March 20th. Okay, thank you. Your attorney will be over to see you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Chandler Moon. Commonwealth, are you Chandler Moon?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. We're here on 24 CR 00013. Were you born in 1999, sir?
Yes, sir.
Last four digits, social security number 4979.
Yes, sir.
We're here for a pretrial conference. Mr. Moon, I've been informed by your attorney now that you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, sir.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes, sir.
Are you the same person we just identified in 24 CR 00013?
I am.
Is your judgment impaired today?
No, sir.
Have you discussed these charges with your attorney, and are you satisfied with his advice?
Yes, sir.
Have you viewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you? You believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights in Kentucky and the United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights. I'm going to go over
Yes,
the
sir.
rights. If anytime you don't understand, I'll give you an opportunity to talk to your attorney. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Your right to speedy trial by jury. Your right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial. The right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. The right to produce evidence. The right to call witnesses in your favor. The right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose. And the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of the charge against you. Understand that by entering a guilty plea today, you give up all those rights. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And I consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentences allowed by law. I do not have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting any recommendation, I will await the pre-sentence investigation report from probation and parole. In the event that I do not accept the Commonwealth's recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw from your guilty plea and proceed to trial. Mr. Hunley, what is the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Got a plea of guilty of selling or receiving vehicles with ID numbers removed or altered. The defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years. Plea of guilty of trafficking in stolen vehicle or stolen vehicle parts. The defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years. upon a plea of guilty of receiving stolen property less than $2,000, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years. The three-year sentences shall run concurrently for a total of 3 years, probated for 3 years, supervised by the state of Tennessee. The 3-year sentence shall run consecutively with his Tennessee case that he is currently on probation for. The defendant agrees to remain outside the Commonwealth unless approved by his Tennessee probation and parole officer and the Commonwealth attorney. The defendant shall forfeit $80 to the Commonwealth and disperse in accordance with said forfeiture order submitted with this agreement. It involves some automobiles with ID numbers this month, but they are identified in the agreement.
Where are they located?
I think they're in impoundment now.
And they're gonna be forwarded?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They're gonna be forwarded. We'll stipulate this.
Okay.
And in addition to all miscellaneous items, but not limited to additional 2 pages of items here, are forfeited to the Mountain Run Police Department to be disposed of in accordance with the law of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The defendant shall receive credit for time served and released from incarceration the day of final sentence.
Is that your understanding of the Commonwealth's recommendation, sir?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment?
Yes, I committed that.
Okay, are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Knowing your constitutional rights, it's still your desire to have these rights, to waive these rights, and enter a plea of guilty to charges, allow the court to fix your punishment within a range permitted by law. Yeah, do you understand that by entering a guilty plea today, any future convictions of felonies could be enhanced under the persistent felony offender law? Do you understand that? You have the
Yes,
plea
sir.
agreement there.
Good. I've been informed that it's not Mountain Run Police Department, but it should be the Tompkinsville.
Okay, that'd be fine. Is that your signature on there, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll accept the agreement. Order pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole.
Wait, that boy, the final sentence, due to the fact he's already on probation in Tennessee.
No, he's on probation, but he's not a prisoner. Okay. So we'll order the sentencing on the 20th. Okay. Thank you very much. Brian Roberts. Commonwealth versus Brian Roberts, 20 CR 0025, 21 CR 0091. Are you Brian Roberts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you born in 1992?
Yes, Your Honor.
Last 4 digits, social security number 7584. You're on probation revocation. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Commonwealth's amended 4th motion to revoke probation.
Come around and present it by fare better this time than you did the other 3 times. I don't. Mr. Collins, you want to raise your right hand? You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, state your name with whom you're employed.
Chase Collins on the probation parole.
Okay, proceed.
Have you been supervising Mr. Roberts as part of your profession?
I have.
How long and what did you get to?
Supervision begins in Monroe County on July 22nd, 2021. Get 3 year sentence, probation for 5 years.
How did he compare?
He's had some violations.
Would you let the court know what they are?
I can.
Your Honor, would it not be more relevant just to confine all this to what's happened since the last agreed order, which any sanctions to the rehab.
Sure. Sure. Go ahead, the most recent ones.
So
On 11/15/24, Mr. Roberts was ordered to enter a complete long-term treatment program at Spark for a minimum of 6 months in lieu of revocation. On 12/20/24, he reported to Spark as directed, and he was transferred there to be supervised by an officer. 1/7/25, that officer up there received a letter of discharge from Spark from Mr. Roberts. The letter stated Mr. Roberts was administratively discharged from Spark on December 29/24. Mr. Roberts was discharged due to use of knowledge of spice on Spark property. Mr. Roberts chose to leave Spark before providing staff with forwarded information. And as of 1/7, Mr. Roberts had not contacted that officer up there. Mr. Roberts did contact me, or I was in a bed letter in the Journey Pier. He had enrolled himself in the Journey Pier. In the dates as of January 6/25, Roberts has been approved for admission to Journey Pier bowling league, and for an average stay of 30 to 45 days. And then we had court on January 16th, and I believe Mr. Roberts was on Zoom. He wanted to hear in person. He returned himself in and was arrested at that time. So he had an active warrant.
On the agreed order that was entered into in November 4, was there a minimum number of months that he was served in rehab?
6 months.
Now, how much time in rehab has he actually served?
He was, he reported in on 12/20/24, and it looks like he was discharged on 12/29.
Your Honor, I was sent to Spark on November 15th. That's when I left Barron County Jail, November 15th.
You wait a sec, you'll get your chance to talk in a minute, okay?
How
Yes, sir.
long in this second rehab facility?
But he very well may have got out in November. I'm not seeing that information from the officer that came with this report here. It was from November until December 29th when he was discharged from the spot.
And when did he enter the other facility?
I received a bed letter on January 6/2020.
And now he did this voluntarily on his own?
Yes.
Was there a 6-week interval, 5-week interval? What was it?
No.
December the 29th, he was discharged. And on January 6th, we received a bed letter.
So 7 days, okay.
But the journey, was it journey for life? Journey here is only a 35 to 45 day program,
correct.
not 6 months.
You want to inquire?
thank you. Collins, it appears that Mr. Robert were either having knowledge or using something called spice. Is that correct?
Correct. It said discharge due to use / knowledge of spice.
What is spice?
It's it's on the same lines as marijuana, but it's a chemical based thing you smoke.
But you haven't talked to anybody at Spark, and there's no knowledge that he was participating, but they felt like, apparently felt like he had at least that knowledge. Correct. Used by someone. Now, if Mr. Roberts had what you call me or somebody contacted you while he was on his way out the door at Spark, depending on the circumstances, would it have been possible for other arrangements to have been made to get him into another rehab?
That would have been up to the Commonwealth and the judge. I called him.
I'd love to go back to rehab.
Still, he was proactive and he was discharged and went ahead and located another rehab and then had that letter sent to you all on the 6th or the 7th of January. That he was already in another rehab, correct? Correct. And he stayed there until we had court last month, when the court ordered him to leave and surrender, and he complied with that. Yes. I agree. And he's been incarcerated for 4 weeks or so since then. Is that correct? Correct. Okay, that's all I have.
You redirect?
He's still 5 months short of the rehab required by the court.
Yeah. You want to make an argument, Mr. Cross?
I want to put this wrong.
I know enough about Mr. Roberts now. It's gonna go pretty good if you put him on if you want to. Raise your right hand, Mr. Roberts. Swear
Yes, sir.
that to give us the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Lower your, go ahead, Mr. Cross.
Mr. Roberts, keep your voice up. Tell us why you left Spark.
I can't hear you, David.
Can't hear you.
I couldn't hear you.
You need to speak in,
It's not going through the system anymore, so they'll have to.
you have to come up here, Mr. Cross.
Yeah, please, because I can't hear.
Okay, we'll take care of it. Speak real loud and look this way. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Cross.
Tell the court why you left Spark.
The reason I left Spark was there was some people there smoking spice, and because I would not tell on those people, they were discharged, and there was actually 4 more people discharged because of this. And the reason it took me 7 days to get into another rehab was because it was for the holidays, and they did not want to accept nobody until after the New Year's. And the reason I went to Journey Pure was because it was the first rehab that I could get into. And they were supposed to transfer me to a 6-month treatment program from there. But instead, when I went to court, you told me to turn myself in and they would give me a bond. Okay, and in the mix to this right here, my mother was put in ICU. And like, I thought I was going to lose her. And that was the hardest thing I've ever went through in my life. And that's all I have left in my life.
Mr. Roberts, do you acknowledge you made a mistake but not notified?
It's okay,
Okay,
Mr. Cross.
that's fine.
You're okay.
Okay.
You're gonna let you.
Yes, I made a mistake. I did.
Wait a second. You need to be quiet. It's fixing to go good for you if you just hold on. Don't say nothing. As gum it up. Okay, you stay right here. Okay, I'm gonna say that the time that he served on this is a sanction. And as soon as you get him lined up to finish out a long-term rehab, I'll order him to be transferred there. Now, what is probation parole? Y'all know any long-term rehab he can get into?
I'd love to go to KCR.
Wait a second. You be quiet now. Go ahead.
My only concern is we have to have him assessed by a social service clinician for that. And he hasn't had any drug use in months. So I don't think through us he'll probably qualify for that.
He's had spice.
No,
He's had spice. Yeah.
I think we're going to get him to Albany at that new one over there pretty quick.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, if you can get him in a long-term rehab in Albany, I hate to send you to Albany, man, but you know what? That's
fine by me.
As soon as you can get him into a long-term rehab, contact the Commonwealth Attorney to see if they approve of the one he's being sent to. We'll do an agreed order, and this time will just be a sanction, okay? Okay,
Yes,
now you go back and take your seat before you do anything to hurt yourself. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Eli Smith. It's Eli Smith. They're Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Eli Smith, 25 CR 0009. It was initially 25 F 0009. Is that correct? Do I have the CR number correct now? Well, I mean, it's highly unusual. It would be the same number on CR and F. It's just a coincidence, I guess. Are you Eli Smith?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Were you born in 2003?
Yes, sir.
The last 4 digits, Social Security number 1042. You're here
Yes,
for arraignment today. You have the right to remain silent. Your attorney is here. You're appearing on information. The Commonwealth of Kentucky has charged you with possession of a controlled substance, first degree, first offense, methamphetamine. You understand what that charge is?
Yes.
Okay. Now, counselor, I've been informed that your client wishes to enter a felony plea. Is that right? Pretrial diversion. Okay. Just for my own edification, where these forms have information, I don't think it's technically an information indictment. It's just an information. Isn't that right, Mr. Hunley?
Yes, it has the same effect.
It has the same effect, but it has information indictment, and he's coming by information and not indictment, okay? A motion's been tendered that you wish to enter a guilty plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
Are you the same person that we just identified a second ago for 25 CR 0009? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is your judgment impaired today in any way?
No, sir.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney? Are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes, Your Honor.
Viewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you. Do you believe you're fully informed about your case?
Yes.
You understand you do not have to enter a guilty plea. You have certain rights under the Kentucky United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea, I need to know that you understand those rights.
Yes.
You have not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. Right to speedy trial by jury, right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you, the right to produce evidence, the right to call witnesses in your favor, the right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose, the right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty charged against you. You understand that by entering a plea of guilty, you give up all those rights. Do you understand that? Now, I may consider the Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I don't have to accept the recommendation. In the event that I do not accept the recommendation and decide to impose a harsher sentence, you have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty and proceed to trial. Now, I'm going to ask you some qualifying questions, sir. Will you raise your right hand? You raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the answers you give the truth. Lower your hand. Have you previously been diverted in the last 5 years?
No.
Have you had any felony convictions in the past 10 years?
No, I've never had a felony.
Are you currently on probation?
No, sir.
You understand if you successfully complete the diversion program agreement, that your charges will be dismissed, pre-trial diverted, you can have your record expunged. You understand that? You understand if you do not successfully complete the diversion program, you're brought back before the court and I revoke your pre-trial diversion, order a pre-sentence investigation report, sentence, you'll be a convicted felon. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, come over, you move to the left there. Listen very carefully. You have to come up here. Go ahead.
Upon a plea of guilty to possession of a controlled substance, first degree, first offense, methamphetamine, the defendant shall receive a sentence of 2 years, pre-trial diverted for 4 years, supervised. The defendant shall be referred to the social service clinician and shall follow any and all recommendations thereof. The defendant shall receive credit for time served. The defendant shall obtain gainful employment or do a minimum of 30 hours of community service per week until gainful employment is obtained. The defendant agrees to have any and all evidence in the above style cases disposed of in a manner that's consistent with the laws of the Commonwealth and the holding agency, and the defendant shall pay fine and court costs at the discretion of the court.
Is that what you agreed to?
Yes, sir.
Did you enter that agreement because you did commit the acts charged in the indictment?
I did, sir.
You're doing so of your own free will, knowing your constitutional rights. That explains to us it's still your desire to give up these rights, enter a guilty plea and allow the court to fix your punishment. Let me have the document up here. Was there a specialty court provision in this? Why is there not a specialty court provision in this? Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this needs to be dated. Were there it was a drug charge here, wasn't it?
Yes.
It needs to be dated. Okay.
That because of his age, he is very young, and because this was a very first offense for him of any kind, that they were just going to make it be as assessed.
What we have been doing on these rocket docket, if they don't have a criminal history, or more than one, prior, possession charge, then, they'll get referred and do diversion and do this position. If
Do
that's
that.
more than, if their criminal history is.
Okay, I'll accept it. Makes sense. Okay, when can he get out? Today then?
You should be able to get out today.
When can he meet with probation and parole?
Been to Glasgow office Monday at 9 a.m.
Okay, well, I'm gonna allow him to be there. I'll let him out Monday morning at 8. Okay, so have somebody come get you Monday morning at 8. We'll let you out of jail and you can go with the probation and parole office, okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Robert Tabor. Robert Tabor. Are you Robert Tabor?
Yes, ma'am.
This is 25 CR 0003. Good morning.
Good morning.
1987.
Yes, I am.
The last 4 digits, social security number 3597.
Yes.
You're here for the purpose of arraignment. You have the right to remain silent. Your attorney is here present. The grand jury of Monroe County has charged you with distribution of a matter portraying a sexual performance by a minor, 8 counts. Mr. Bailiff, you want to? No problem. You can take a look. Counselor, do you acknowledge the identity of your client, receive the indictment, waive formal reading and arraignment, enter plea of not guilty, reserving all pretrial motions?
Yes, Ron.
I'm signing a reciprocal discovery order. Mr. Tabor requires the Commonwealth to give the evidence they have against you to your attorney to prepare for defense. We'll schedule a negotiation day on the 7th. The next court date is on the 20th. Now, do y'all have all the forensic evidence that you're going to use in prosecution to proceed? Are you ready for a negotiation day? Okay, the 7th and the 20th.
Thank you.
Okay. Benjamin Tooley. Commonwealth first. Are you Benjamin Tooley?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're here today. Are you born in 1987?
Yes, sir.
Last 4 digits, social security number 2174.
Yes, sir.
You're here today on a pretrial conference on 24 CR 002, probation revocations on 21 CR 0093, 92, and 20 CR 0005. What does the Commonwealth have to say?
Discussed it at length with Mr. Bale. Mr. Dooley, Your Honor, has some serious charges against him in Allen County. We've been waiting now for about a year, maybe more. There's some question in everybody's mind on whether he's got anything now. The prosecutor over there was defeated.
Will you come up? You come up here. I'm having trouble. And since we're not on the mic, you probably need to stand up here. So up here. And you come up too, so Mr. Tooley can hear it, okay?
The prosecutor over there was defeated, and the case is just dragged and dragged and dragged. We've got a new Commonwealth attorney, Michael. Mr. Bell thinks you've got that case settled. Or close to it.
What do you mean settled?
Judge, he's looking at some time here.
He's got 7.5 years on the shelf here. He's got this one pending case for 0.002 grams of methamphetamine. Along with
over there?
Oh, yeah.
What we're asking, Judge, is put it back on negotiation day. I talked to Mr. Lindsay. He said that we might be able to resolve all of these at one time, and if I can do it all together, it would be a great benefit.
Well, I'll let you, but here's the thing about it. He was already on probation. The fact that he has any methamphetamine, it's not a good thing. The 7th will be on negotiation day on the 7th. The next court appearance will be the 20th.
Thank you.
Okay. Michael Turner. Commonwealth versus Michael Turner, 23 CR 00055. Are you Michael Turner?
Yes, sir.
Born in 1967.
Yes.
And last four digits, social security number 1161. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do we have here? They'll bring it up here. You waited this long, another 3 minutes, won't hurt.
This is our petition for voluntary hospitalization.
Okay, tell me about it. You have to come up here. Come up here. You can come up too.
According to, Mr. Stockton's, petition, he stated that the defendant is currently indicted, for a charge of possession of firearm, by convicted felon. He does not have an address to report. An order for psychiatric treatment was entered, with this court on June the 20th of 2024. Looks like he's had, the two indictments were from 2023. When he possessed, manufactured, or transported a firearm, namely a Savage 22 rifle. His conduct may have occurred because of his mental illness, which is psychosis. And he doesn't have a guardian, nor does the Commonwealth believe anyone has custody of the defendant. And his father, the defendant's father is Homer Turner, and his mom is deceased. So we believe that he's mentally ill and presents a danger or threat or danger to his family and society as a whole. That's reasonable.
Is it 404? What is it? What do you operate
It doesn't
under?
cite, it's that the defendant be restrained pursuant to KRS 202A 051 is what the statute is that Mr. Stockton has cited.
I've looked at the statute, it does authorize, it authorizes the court to order him to be admitted to the hospital against his will. I've met with Mr. Turner. He reports to me that he does not believe he needs to be taking his current medication. There were issues with the jailer, Grant County having him take his diabetes medicine. They're worried that he's gonna have go into a diabetic coma. He reports to me he doesn't believe he needs to be taking it. You might recall, Judge, this was the individual that there was an issue with him believing that he had a right to be on this
I
property.
remember it well. I got that statute in front of.
No, I need one.
Yeah. We're down up here, so. I don't see a statute book in here anywhere.
I got the statute pulled up. Only thing in it that is the Commonwealth attorney can petition underneath the statute for 60 days or 360 days of involuntary hospitalization of an individual. But it does say that the petition needs to be in district court.
I've never done one of them before. I was just new.
Oh, I don't know if there's another.
Well, I don't know several. How many? One or two, three or four? What county?
We've done two.
Did we have the hearing? They have the hearings in district court, or did they?
We appointed a guardian ad litem. There's no statute that we follow.
I'm not familiar with this statute. I thought it was like 404.
Yeah, it's more of a civil confound.
What's that? Yeah, I get 202, 202A. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, I'm good. And then there's a 202, there's a 202B too, and there are other 202s.
I don't think it was stated, but the scene in case was found competent, it was found that competency could not be restored, and that's the basis of the petition.
What? I got you now. I'm clear.
And a lot of times, it's clear.
Okay, what period of confinement are you recommending at this juncture? Does there have to be a hearing?
You find probable cause, that's what it says.
I find probable cause and we'll establish a hearing. And between now and then, you'll have to see if we've been doing it correctly in the past or whether it has to be in district court. I'll schedule a hearing on the 20th. Mr. Hunley? Are you gonna be charged with doing that research?
I hope not.
Okay, well, you go over and meet with Mr. Turner and tell him what's going on here. This 202A, at the judicial college, there was talk about other 202 issues. That's where I got my A and B on my 404 instead of 202. So we'll take a look and we'll schedule, if there's a hearing necessary, it'll be on the 20th, okay? Now, I wonder who the witnesses would be. Would you have to have witnesses?
Two qualified mental health professionals, one of which is a physician.
Yeah, so then that's gonna be a problem probably too, because it might be whoever examined him up at KCPC might be available. I don't know. So we'll schedule it for the 20th. Thank you, Mr. Turner. David Wood. David Wood. Commonwealth versus David Wood. CR 00108. Are you David Wood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you Johnny Bell?
No, just not today.
Okay, I see it on the docket. It's got Johnny Bell.
I think that's the previous.
Yeah, what's the shock probation revocation?
Just that's something that's.
Is that correct? Okay, your attorney's requested to take this out to the 20th. You want a negotiation day too?
Yes, if we can do that.
The 7th for negotiation, the 20th, the next court day. Now we got Larry Norris. Commonwealth versus Larry Norris. This is 23 CR 0078, a motion for a competency hearing for Mr. Norris. You need to come up here, probably.
The agreed order being referenced as an agreed order between myself and the Commonwealth, stipulating to the findings of the report to allow the court to just make a decision based on the case of these.
And I think we include two.
We did, if the court declares him to be competent today based on the findings of that report, then we are prepared to enter.
As the Commonwealth has reviewed the report, you think he's competent? Okay, and the defense counsel has reviewed it and agrees that he is competent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now is this a felony plea or diversion?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Norris, what's your year of birth?
92.
And what are the last four digits of your social security number?
1833.
Okay, a motion has been tendered that says you wish to enter a plea today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Is this plea freely and voluntarily given?
Yes.
You're the same person that we previously identified in 23 CR 0078. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is your judgment impaired in any way?
No.
Are you good? You understand what's going on here?
Yeah.
Have you discussed this matter with your attorney and are you satisfied with her advice?
Yes.
Have reviewed the evidence the Commonwealth has against you and do you believe you've been fully informed about the case?
Yes.
You understand that you do not have to enter a guilty plea today. You have certain rights under the Kentucky and United States Constitution. Before I can accept a plea of guilty, I need to know that you fully understand those rights. You have a right not to testify against yourself. No one can make you say anything. You have a right to speed trial by jury, the right to be represented by counsel at your jury trial, the right to confront and cross-examine all witnesses called to testify against you. You have a right to produce evidence, a right to call witnesses in your favor, a right to appeal this matter to higher court if you lose. You have a right to require the Commonwealth to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you're guilty of charges. You understand that by entering a plea today, you give up all those rights. You understand that, sir?
Yes.
I may consider Commonwealth's recommendation, but I may apply any range of sentence provided below. I don't have to accept the recommendation. Prior to accepting your recommendation, I will obey the pre-sentence investigation report done by probation and parole. In the event that I do not go along with the recommendation of the Commonwealth after reading that report and decide that you deserve a harsher sentence, you'll have the right to withdraw your plea and go to trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And what's
Yes.
the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Not gonna plead guilty to possession of a controlled substance first degree methamphetamine. The defendant shall receive a sentence of 3 years probated for 5 years supervised. The defendant shall follow all mental health recommendations, including but not limited to medications and treatment. Defense counsel shall provide probation and parole with the defendant's mental health provider, and defendant shall sign a mental health care release to Monroe Probation and Parole Officer Chase Collins. Probation and parole shall monitor his medication usage.
Is that what you agreed to, sir?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty because you did possess the controlled substance?
Yes.
Okay, are you doing so of your own free will?
Yes.
Knowing your constitutional rights is your desire to enter a plea of guilty and allow the court to fix punishment within the range permitted. Is that right? You
Yes.
understand that after entering this plea, you'll be a convicted felon. If you have other felonies in the future, the sentence could be increased as far as the range. You understand that?
Yes.
Hand me the document here. Mr. Norris, is this your signature on there? See that signature?
Yes.
Okay. I'll accept the plea order pre-sentence investigation report to be done and schedule a hearing on the 20th. Thank you very much. Now, is there any, does the jail have anyone else there that was on the docket that we've missed by mistake? Anyone else?
We do not, Your Honor. That's all we have.
Okay, thank y'all very much. Sorry for the glitch. We finally worked through it, okay? Y'all are relieved.
Thank you.
Is there anything else to come before the court?
Yeah.
Show cause? Okay, show cause docket. Commonwealth versus Truman Adams. Okay, continue it to next month then. Mara Ferguson. Okay. Damian Hurt. Okay. Jeffrey Kruger. Charles Muse. No payment. Have Mr. Muse to pay, issue a bench warrant, have him to purge himself by paying $320.
He's on probation, I'll call it.
Okay. Well, you want me to hold off issuing a bench warrant then, do you think?
I think I need to,
Okay, let's pass over to next month on him. He's on probation. He has another 85, so that's about 400 total. See what kind of payment he made. Turan Portia, paid in full. Maria Riviera. Do what? We probably won't be seeing Maria Riviera anymore. So they said ICE picked her up last night. So. Do what? Okay. Issue a bench warrant for her anyway, so.
Already gone.
Brian Roberts. He's in jail. Put him on for next month. Spencer Shockley. Okay, y'all picking up on the microphone, okay? Smith. Cromwell versus Travis B. Smith. What? Now, this is obviously how long's it been since he paid you $300?
This message one to be sure I don't know where that. I don't January 15th.
January 15th? Okay, well, he's not behind then. So just kind of watch him for next month, okay? Chandra Warren. Okay, does that conclude the show cause? That conclude the criminal docket? Okay, let's go off the record. It's been get off the record. Been a joyous occasion today. Hope as it was good for everyone as it was for me.